My name is Jay DeSherry. I'm on the eternal quest for more power turns. This is the Nitro vertical binding. If Jay-Z and Beyonce procreated and made a binding, it would be the Nitro vertical. Seriously, this binding solves problems. This is my personal binding. I bought this. I have probably about 80, 90 days in this binding, everywhere from local terrain back in the Pacific Northwest, high Cascade volcanoes, and even over in Japan last year. This binding, to be subjectively objective, is absolutely amazing. I power surf a lot, and when I'm on my power surfer, I love to have nice freedom, right? When I'm strapped into a binding, I want power, I want control, I want all the things I get in my solid bindings, and this is the best I have tried. I have about 200 days total on a pair of Burton Hitchhikers and some various iterations of Sparks. And I can tell you, Nitro has certainly worked some magic with the folks at Spark to build Nitro Vertical. So, positives for the Nitro Vertical. It's nice, even middle of the road weight, but more importantly, it's incredibly powerful for its weight. I love the way the straps contour out my boots, no pinch points, no pressure points. Ratchets works great. Everything is solid, dependable, and reliable. Again, a lot of days this binding, about 80 days so far, and it's bomb-proof. Negatives, doesn't climb the mountain for me.
And as you know, we put out honest, objective, unbiased reviews without any brand oversight. And we can do that thanks to the support of shops like Blower Board Shop. They have a strong presence online. So if you want to support the good ride and keep objective reviews flowing, check out Blower Board Shop, click through our links and see if something works for you there.
Let's talk weight. So these are a solid middle of the road. Basically, without hardware, you're looking for 1.6 pounds per binding. For reference, the Burton Hitchhiker is gonna run 1.8 pounds. Again, I toured numerous days in that binding. Can I feel the weight difference? Not so much. If you wanna go super lightweight, this is Beastie's custom Franken binding. There's a combination of the same base plate in the vertical. It's a Spark Arc base plate with a more robust surge, basically, and then surge straps front and rear. So again, lighter, but I would say for the weight, again, nice middle of the range. More importantly, this delivers the power I'm looking for in a binding. All those weights are with the padding included and discs off. Highback flex. So one thing I really love about these bindings are they have a lot of torsion to them, and I really like that because I ride posi and I don't want to pinch my boot cuff. But when it comes down to putting power on the board, these things are amazing, right? They're really, really strong, really rigid, and you can put a lot of power through the setup. The high back combined with the rigidity of these straps is simply unparalleled compared to any split binding I've ever been on. Let me show you how these go on. We have the folks at Spark to thank for a beautifully designed hardware system, bomb-proof, reliable, durable, right? All you do is flip up this front toe piece, basically slip it straight over your hardware, drop the toe piece, and you're on. It's that simple. So in terms of how these feel and how the power transfers to the board, these are split board bindings. You're not gonna find a lot of the more segmental control you get from a freestyle type binding. But again, for most of us, we're not after buttering back in the backcountry. We're after power transmission on really fun and sick lines. This binding does a phenomenal job of that. And I've ridden this binding on several different split boards, and I can tell you boards that do a very good job at having some contour between or kind of wave between the bases, like my personal Jonas Stratos, probably have about 80, 90 days in this board so far with these bindings. I would say they definitely do a really good job at stiffening up the board. Together with the Nitro verticals and my kind of basically contoured edges on the Stratos, it rides like a solid. I know it's been overplayed and overhyped, but it really does. I cannot be more excited and more pumped to drop in every single line. Together, this is not like a typical split board where you feel one half of the board engaging differently than the other. It feels rock solid and bomb-proof, and I absolutely love it. In terms of integrity, the combination of the Nitro verticals and the Jones inside wavy side cut, locking these together. Those of you who've seen Ferris Bueller, when he references the fact that Cameron can basically turn Cole into a diamond in his ass, that's how stiff and how strong and stable this system is together. Whiskey break. Let's talk about shock absorption and dampening. Those of you who spent a lot of time on split board bindings know they kind of feel like crushed china under your feet. Nitro solved this problem by adding, shocker, cushioning, right? These bindings come stock with cushioning down the entire length of the footbed. And let's talk about why this is really important. We'll go to Beastie's Franken binding, and Spark right now sells a base plate cushion system. You can buy this right now. Problem is, they don't sell you a cushion for what? right under the toe clip, which is your gas pedal. So if you look at this from the side, what you've got is your gas pedal is lower than the platform of your metatarsal heads. That's not good for putting down power transmission. Nitro solves this problem by bringing the cushion up all the way. And in fact, if you notice, it has a little bit of rise up against the flatness underfoot. So it gives you a nice purchase to push against. And again, nice power transmission going toe side, heel side, give you nice damping. Is it going to be as soft and stable as a conventional binding? No. But is this probably the best feeling I've had underfoot from a splitboard binding? By far and above, the answer is yes. Let's talk about construction of straps. One of the things that's amazing in this binding is Nitro has actually reinforced their binding with steel cables. And some of you may think that's probably overkill. I would say I have never experienced splitboard binding be able to put this much power transmission through toe side turns. It's simply remarkable. And when you go for heel side, again, the combination of rigidity in the high back plus that tensile pull on that, again, cable reinforced strap, it feels like you're riding a solid binding. This is what we're all after, and Nitro Vertical really brings it to you. When we look at geometry of straps, two key features really stand out here. You have nice cushion support in the upper strap as well. Again, really good congruence over your boot. Flex as well, right? You've got some give in the middle here to contour around your instep. I love the way this feels, no pressure points at all. And up in the front, we have Vibram rubber underneath the toe strap itself. What this gives you is when you put this on, your boot doesn't waffle and wobble inside the binding. It's nice and solid and stable. Again, a binding's job is to help you deliver your leverage into your board. This does it with a Blom. Put this all together. When you're in wobbly, uneven terrain, support is simply unmatched. Again, you're not going to feel pressure. If you have to do a long toe side traverse, you're not going to feel hot spots. Long hillside traverse, you're not going to get calf bite. It really does a great job at giving uniform stress throughout your entire boot, your entire foot. You're not going to have hot spots. Ratchets and hardware. Again, I've got over 80 days in the system. This is not a pre-production or a production sample, right? This is my actual binding. A lot of use. They look great. They function beautifully. I have no issues. They don't ice up. They work with light snow. They work with El Niño snow, everywhere in between. They're solid, robust. Again, I want my gear in the backcountry to make sure I get in and out and have fun and not be problematic. The Nitro Vertical solves all those issues for me. Let's talk about special features. So we all know going uphill, we want to be able to stride out. And if your high back is rigid here, you can't get a lot of stride length. So Franken binding allows us to flip this up nice and easy in one step and get a little more negative lean to improve your stride length. While it's not as simple in Nitro Vertical, it's not that hard. All you do is basically pick up on this back clip and lift up and slide up, and that's it. And you can adjust your forward lean on the fly with these really simply moving them up and down. Again, this can be maybe 1 or 2 extra seconds. Sometime in some heavy dense snow, this will get a little bit of stickiness onto it, but it's pretty simple, pretty easy. And again, with gloves or mitts, it's no issue. Contrasting that with the Spark Highbacks, this is one place where they have a little bit of advantage. The reality is this is a lot faster to adjust, right? And then also you have almost infinite adjustability by just basically turning this in and out to get the amount of distance you want to make sure you've got the appropriate travel. Let's compare strap-ons. So look at the straps themselves. If you look at the Spark branded, which straps you'll find is they're a TPU style strap, very lightweight, very accommodative. They really wrap nicely. And again, there's no ability for them to absorb moisture, right? So any type of wet snow, heavy snow, manky snow, it's not gonna bind to the strap itself, which I really like. Going back to Nitro Verticals, some people will claim that more porous, cushiony fabric will retain some moisture. You'll definitely get some snow clinging to these time after time, especially if it's kind of light, clumpy snow. When you start to see roller balls, you might see some accumulation over your straps themselves, but a quick wipe is typically all it takes to get it out of the way. I've not found this to be a problem at all. And again, the combination of a more traditional style feel, I like to have this around, just gives me a sensation of power transmission to my board, and that's what I'm after, especially in bigger, steeper, more exposed lines. Let's talk about the arch nemesis of splitboarding, Sidehilling. As a skier for many, many years, you can't beat a hard boot on a rigid binding. It's just gonna give you unmatched power to get purchase on your inside and outside edges on side hills. Now, that being said, the Nitro Vertical, do I have any main complaints? I think it's probably as good as you can get in terms of a soft boot through a binding, right? We said laterally, this system's actually pretty stiff, and if you want a little bit more purchase, you can use things like a strap-in strap to go through these little loops right here, right? And wrap around the top of your cuff to give you more purchase power. So if you find yourself on a ridge, it's got a little more exposure, A little more need to get some more inside and outside edge hill purchase, these are your solution. Let's talk about going uphill. We all know you want to match the slope, right? So you can reach down with your pole, flick this little guy down, you'll be in four-wheel drive high. If it's steeper, one more, four-wheel drive low. Crank on out. Adjustability. The nice thing about this binding is you can move the parts, right? Lots of bindings let you adjust the straps. You can actually move this entire heel cradle assembly fore or aft to match a geometry to really make sure that your boot's centered over your board, right? So we always want to make sure we can apply good force, heel side and toe side edges, and you can adjust pretty much everything. And that's the great thing that Spark has done. The combination of Nitro and Spark working together gives you a solid, bomb-proof, reliable system that can adjust to any stance width, any angle, any fore-aft location. If you can't fix this thing up, your feet are really messed up. So let's wrap this up with a simple summary. As a snowboarder, you demand good power transmission, good board feel, and good reliability out of your bindings. I was in the pursuit for a few years to find something that lets me go in the backcountry with as much power transmission, comfort, and reliability as I get out of my solids. Since I discovered these verticals, I really can't say I need anything else. They check all the boxes, they do it with style, they're reliable. When I go in, I know I'm coming out, right? You always want to be careful, make sure you go with the appropriate tools to make sure you've got extra screws, things to adjust, right? Extra parts. Don't be crazy, right? Take some accountability and make sure you're going out with the right tools you need, but I can't ask for more than these, and I'm gonna hope to get another several hundred days out of each one of these bindings.
And I approve this message. Wait a second, let me do that.